Hi everyone, Amy here, and I am still sick. I'm worse. And like I said on my community page, it went into a sinus infection migraine, which is like the worst. Sinus infections are literal hell. I mean, I think the only thing worse would be stomach, like nausea, all day nausea, which I've had before, which that's horrible. Um, but the thing about having a sinus infection is you usually have nausea with that. So anyway, it's just pain in my sinuses, my eyes, my nose, my ears, my neck, my teeth, my head, and you just literally get to the point, and I've had so many migraines in my life, you just get to the point where you just want to stick a red hot poker into your skull and find whatever it is that's making it hurt and get rid of it. Now, I know that sounds extreme, but ask anyone who's ever had migraines, and they'll tell you the same thing. It's a very common thought for migraine sufferers to want to pierce their skull. And I just saw a beautiful cardinal fly through the yard. It's just awful. It's awful to be stuck in your head, especially when your eyes hurt. Then you can't even enjoy watching TV when you're stuck in bed. But anyway, I usually can cure migraines with Advil and coffee and hot and cold. That usually works. This is obviously a sinus infection from the cold. You can hear it. You can hear it. It's infected in there. So the vinegar helps. It sounds gross, but vinegar helps kill the bacteria. Sinus medicine helps, obviously. Anyway, my cough and cold flu medicine didn't do anything today. In fact, that seemed to make it worse. So now I'm just like still doing hot and cold. Anyway, came on because I wanted to talk about the whole thing. Let's talk about the Maxwell Epstein thing going on, and then the FIFA soccer cup, football cup that happened, which, okay, so we all woke up, right? We all woke up here in America. Maybe you already saw it before we did. Saw that Chelsea had won, and I don't know a lot about these things, but I know Chelsea won, and that Trump was there, and he got booed by a huge part of the audience. Okay, lots of booing and F you, and because guess what? Freedom of speech. And he does horrible things and goes to a public setting, and you're going to hear the truth of what people feel about you. People don't like him. But here's the thing. That wasn't the bad part. That wasn't the part that was the most interesting. So you've probably seen the clip. There's this big gold sort of globe spinny trophy thing that you give to the winners. And he presented it with the owner, or whatever, the guy that runs the team or the event, whatever. And it's like he wouldn't let go of it. And then finally he gets up on the stand, and then the guy says, "Come on, Mr. Frump, President Frump, time to go and let them have their moment." Well, Frump is like, oh, he's not leaving. And everybody's like, "Oh, look at that, don't look at him. He's, they made fun of Biden, but look at him. He doesn't even know when it's time to leave." Well, I saw that, and I was like, he doesn't want to leave. He knows he's supposed to leave, and they probably told him, I crossed my legs and bumped the table. They probably told him ahead of time because protocol, you stand, he's been in reality TV as a president. He knows certain places to stand in front of the camera and to tell speeches and to meet people, and that they told him beforehand, we present it and we leave and let them have their moment, and then they take photos, etc., etc. And they probably even said, by the way, if you do stand there, you might get Gatorade or what have you, ice all over you. That would be interesting. That would be symbolic. So they told him beforehand, you gotta go. So the guy, the owner, he starts to leave, and he motions to Frump, time to go, and Frump's like, oh, I'm staying here. And it did look like, who's the guy in Popeye, if I'll gladly pay you tomorrow for a hamburger today, Mr. Wimpy or whatever his name is, Wimple or whatever. I keep seeing that guy in my head, the big baggy suit and the sort of like dumb look on his face. That's how he acted, but what I took from it was he doesn't want to go. He's like, I won the trophy. I want to be here. They won for me. So therefore I stay. This was all for me. And I'm the biggest big boy. I'm the biggest big boy in the whole world. And I don't have to leave or do anything anyone tells me to do. See, now he thinks he has all this power. And so that's what I got. He didn't want to leave, so he didn't leave. Now you could see the guys from the team were like, should we tell him? And they even said, you can go, or what are you doing? And he just played dumb, and he kept being like handsy grabby around that, like watching that trophy. I kind of wish they dropped it, to be honest, because here's what I'm going to tell you next. Apparently the owners succumbed to his demands a month or so ago and said, you can have the trophy in the White House. Now maybe they said you could keep it until tonight and then you have to give it to the players, the team. Or maybe they said to him some secret deal, right? Like maybe he gave them some secret deal on travel, and I won't make my guards come after you when you come across the security from the airplanes. It's stuff like that. You'll get the best hotel. I bet you anything there was a deal. I bet you. Because the guy let him keep the trophy in the White House. And you know how the Oval Office looks now, like a gold bazaar, like a, looks terrible. It looks terrible. Just tacky gold everywhere. King Midas. So when they presented the trophy and Frump didn't want to let go of it, and he stayed there on purpose, because that's his trophy. No one's going to take my trophy. That's mine. Don't touch it. Don't drop it. I wish they had dropped it. I really do. I wish they had dropped it. That would have been sweet justice. So anyway, and he's not giving it back. That's his trophy. So now they played the game. All that work, all that training, all that blood, sweat, and tears. And their moment was robbed by 45. And now the trophy was robbed. And somebody said, can you believe that he would take that? And I wrote, that's not the only thing he stole. Because, look at it. Look at the pattern. Come on. He totally, for entertainment purposes only, stole the election. We all know that. It fits. He cheats at golf. He cheats on his wives. He cheats on everything. And now he has stolen this trophy. But really, I'd say it's the owner's fault of the soccer league. Should not have made secret deals with him. I hope that all comes out. So, as I always say, 45 is a narcissist. Of course he's going to do this horrible, crazy stuff. But other people don't have to, what do you call it, or just succumb or, fold to his demands. Yeah, I always blame the people who allow him to do the things that he does as a narcissist. So, okay, so that happened. And that's just sickening. If with my headache, my migraine, laying in bed, reading that, just like, damn, that's so bad. Even Charles Manson was like, damn, and on the other side, probably, I don't know. But he's probably like, damn, that's bad. That's so wrong. My gosh. Anyway, okay. Let's see other things. So, El0n Maxwell, and everything is for entertainment purposes only. So, we were talking about it yesterday. Will he pardon her? Now, I get that he can't. And Amy, the other Amy Warrior Princess, said she heard no. So, and I agree with that. I don't think that you can just pardon her. And then today I read that it has to be approved by Congress. So, I don't think she's going to be pardoned. But here's the thing, too. I get that he's kept her in prison all these years now as a safety measure for her own safety. And he's arranged it so she's had, the food she likes, provisions that so it's like being in prison, but in the best situation you could possibly be in, with favors and nice guards and food and books and TV. And she's probably even got internet and, Netflix, and she can Netflix and chill, and her cell's probably more just like a suite. Seriously, that's what I see. And also because if she got out, she might rat him out. She would get. Now here's the thing: if she was gonna rat him out, they would have Epsteined her already. And notice they haven't. They've kept her alive for a reason. Why? Because they're waiting for the moment when they can use her. Because if she's gone, you can't use her. Now, how are they going to use her? Well, she's going to say my ears just popped and are doing a ringy thing, and that's from my migraine, I think. That she's going to come out and say her confession is 45 didn't do anything. It was Bill Clinton. It was all Bill Clinton. So then maybe after that, after the stuff calms down, then maybe she'll be pardoned. Her sentence will be up. List gone. Everything that we're 1984. All the information disappears. Poof, gone. History over. It never happened. And I hate to say this because I know when people listen to like a reading, psychic, intuitive reading, they want to hear the good stuff, the justice. Well, when I tell you these things, I'm just telling you what I'm getting. Doesn't mean it's 100% going to happen, but also I believe in divine justice, that there is karmic justice in the end, like God's justice. So yeah, right now 45 has this horrible streak of getting by with these crimes and using people and getting things he wants and hurting innocent children and immigrants, and you're like, why isn't he getting? Because look at him. The world, most of the world hates him now. Most of the world sees him for he's one of the world's most hated figures. I would say that his legacy, you may think that he's getting by with everything right now, but his legacy is so bad. It's bad. And when he goes to the other side, he's going to be met with the worst life review ever. And I'm talking like maybe worse than Hitler. Maybe. I mean, Hitler was really awful, but well, so I believe in, so when I say these things, I know, I want to say he's gonna be, taken out of office and blah blah, and this is gonna happen, and all the immigrants will be set free, and ICE will disappear, and Ghislaine Maxwell will stay in prison and be charged for her crimes and suffer for her crimes because she did horrible things to young girls. Now, but I believe in divine justice, and we do live in a almost like Dodge City, Wild West right now. We really do. So we have to hang on there, and we have to know that there is divine justice. That's really, how you have to look at it. But so I see that no, she's not going to be pardoned yet, not right now. But I see 1 to 2 years or more, maybe 12 years. But probably, 1 to 2 years. But I believe that if she gives a confession, she's going to say, well, 45 only went there a few times with Melania, but he didn't have anything to do with teenage girls. However, I saw Bill Clinton with blah, 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 blah. Now, here's something that happened on the sly. And I kind of said this a while back. I said, do you know how, that he kind of gave what did he do? He pardoned Prince Andrew. And now they're inviting him over to the UK. So, I mean, it's just, I don't know, folks. But yeah, I wish I could come here and say that everyone's going to get what they deserve. But we're still in this really, really, really bad energy right now. And, well, anyway, where's my cards? Maybe I should pull some cards. I feel bad about all that. What is, I mean, I already asked. We know. Ghislaine's not going to be pardoned. Her confession is going to be more like it's just going to cover everything up. And that's what I wanted to say. Okay. So I had the same feeling that I did when the Mueller report came out. And if you remember, I'll never forget it. It was the week the Mueller report was supposed to come out. And if you know, the Mueller report was going to tell how in 2016 election, the Russian interference, which we all know there was. Russia, are you listening? I mean, that was it right there. But it was an online campaign, and I still believe something happened with votes, but it showed everything that happened with Russian interference on our 2016 election that stole the election from Hillary for entertainment purpose only. Now, the week the Mueller report was going to come out, Mueller wrote it, worked hard on it, and everybody had their hopes up. This is gonna finally, Trump's gonna be taken out of, and they're gonna just walk up on a stage and take him off stage and kicking and screaming, and then they'll bring Hillary in and blah 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 blah. I was walking my dog at the park, and I heard a video on my phone, like YouTube, and it was 45. It was like a Tuesday afternoon or Tuesday morning, and 45 said, "Well, the Mueller report's going to come out, and I'm perfectly okay with it. Release it to the public. I have nothing to hide." And I got psychically, he's already seen it, and it's been blocked out. It's been picked, pieces picked out of it, all the evidence picked out. That's what I heard psychically. He's already seen it, and his people did the work on it, and like Watergate, they blocked it all out. So then what, a few days later, Friday afternoon, they say, well, Bill Barr, I'm going to release it. And then it was Sunday, that next Sunday, that weekend, that Sunday, I was at the museum with my daughter, and we took a moment between, like, we'd been walking all over the museum, and I took a moment and I looked at my phone to read the news, and it said that Bill Barr had released the Mueller report, and it showed no evidence of any guilt. And I just, like everyone else, even though I already knew, like the world dropped from the top all the way down to the bottom of my feet. It was like this sinking feeling of dread and doom, and oh my God, this is a Hitchcock movie. This is, you know, Cary Grant in a Hitchcock movie. And I looked up at the painting in front of me, and it was Jesus on a boat, rocky, like the Sea of Galilee, right? Wasn't that what it was? Where all the disciples were like screaming and crying, and he was just laying there naked in his truth with, you know, sarong, and the storms and the choppy waters, and he was at peace. And I remember thinking, he's not afraid. Be not afraid. And I'm not like a super religious person, but you know, that's what I got, was be not afraid. And I feel that way now. I feel that way with a lot of these things. Be not afraid. It's awful, but 45 has done what he did with Epstein. He was clearly best friends with him. Even Epstein said it. He clearly did things. Go listen to Katie Johnson's testimony. It was really awful. And she warned us. She said, you don't want to elect this guy. She said, I'm afraid if you elect this guy, the horrible things he'll do to the country. And she said, if you knew what the real Donald Trump was like, you would never let him in the White House. And I mean, she tried, and then of course the death threats and threats from lawyers, and he sent all his lawyer attack dogs on her, just like he did to Ivana when she said he had raped her in their marital grape. And she rescinded, and everybody always folds because 45 uses the law to scare everyone, and just like he does now with everything. Anyway, it's gonna be okay. But you know, here's what I say: we already know the truth. It's the people in MAGA who really need to know the truth. And right now, we did put a crack. There's a crack in the MAGA cult. See, now he got to Charlie Kirk, though, because he called Charlie Kirk, and Charlie Kirk, all of a sudden, after phone call with the biggest manipulator, mind melder all of all, all of a sudden he's saying, well, I trust the president, so whatever. Whatever. Aren't you supposed to protect victims? And that's the thing. That's the thing about, like, with the whole grape trial that went on last year with 45, and people are saying, well, what does it matter? What does it matter? It matters. Because what about future victims? Because people should know what he's really like. If 45 rides on an airplane next to your daughter, do you really want your daughter next to him? And you just told the world he's innocent, even though we had evidence that he wasn't? I mean, that's the thing. Like, that's why we have to face this and know what happened in the Epstein. And I just got, you know what I got? Epstein on the other side, which sometimes I've wondered if he's still alive, because I got that maybe he went to Indonesia, but you know, I'm guessing he's gone, because we probably would have heard something by now. There would have been pictures of him walking around some, you know, Bali or something. I think that he, on the other side, wants to be saved, and he has well, of course, you know, he has a lot of karma to get through, but by releasing all of the truths, it'll help him on the other side. So he wants, I mean, he's already done. It's like he needs, the only way this, okay, I can't talk and I'm still sick. Epstein on the other side wants all the truth to be released, because when 45 finally faces what he's done, and the victims have their say, and it all comes out, Epstein on the other side can begin to go through his karmic lessons and heal. He can't do that when it's hidden. I mean, he knows, and he's asked for forgiveness, and he's trying to heal and become a better person, but he can't until the victims have their justice. Epstein is still tied to this in like a karmic way to 45. So he wants the truth to come out. Now 45 doesn't, obviously he doesn't want any of this to come out. He just wants to ride to the end. And now here's something. At that soccer thing, they showed 45 sitting there, and he had like major swelling in his ankles. And you know what I thought? It was awful, I know. I don't wish anyone harm, I don't. But I remember when I saw that, I thought, finally, it's finally happening. It's like heart, edema, diabetes, but it's finally happening. His body's breaking down. And, you know, it's awful. Again, I don't wish bad stuff on anyone, but you and I, we all know that this whole thing isn't going to end until 45. Again, I don't wish anyone harm. I'm not promoting anything, nothing. I don't wish anyone harm. I'm a peaceful person. I promote peace. But the cult is not going to really ever end until 45 is gone. And that's kind of like when Hitler finally disappeared and Jim Jones left, and, you know, all that. These cult figures have a hold on people. As long as they have access to the public, they have a hold on the cult. So, you know, whatever, I'm talking with migraine brain and sick cold brain, so just forgive me for rambling, but that's what I got. I got that El0n is going to exonerate, that was the word I was thinking of earlier, exonerate 45 as much as she can. She's savvy, you know, and I'm not giving her any credit as a human being, but she, oh, and I want to talk about El0n. But she just wants to get out of prison, and yeah, El0n. So it's going to be like the Mueller report. It's going to get blacked out, and his people are just going to live in the delusion a little bit longer. But there was a small crack that got through. It's true. Okay, El0n. So this announcement today that Grok, which the other day Grok was saying all this horrible Nazi stuff, that Grok has made a deal where it's going to control a whole bunch of government media, or I don't know what it is. And again, in my migraine brain, I'm like, what? I thought, you know, they were, so they made a secret deal. Maybe this is why I have a migraine, because all this crap going on in the world. Made a secret deal. So, boy, it's crazy. Because El0n was going to release the tapes. And so 45 rescinded, there's that word again that I'm trying to think of, rescinded and exonerated. 45 rescinded and said, all right, I'll be nice to you, and I'll let you have all this stuff and this money and this power, and I'll fund your Grok to take over. And also 45 knew if he didn't do that, El0n would manipulate the election for himself and his America First party. See how this all works? You see how crooked they are? You tell me I'm not right. The thing is, I don't think I'm psychic as much as I am just like, I don't know, I just figured these things out really fast. That tells you what my childhood was like. Who was I around in my childhood that I've just figured these things out, so that I've just been around the craziest situations. But yeah, I really feel like that's what happened. El0n said, I'm going to release the Epstein files, tapes, and all that. And then Trump was like, oh no, oh no. And so then he started to bring up all the stuff. And then the whole with Jelaine, like he's going to pardon Jelaine, and Jelaine's going to dig him out. And then all of a sudden, El0n has this new contract with the government, and 45 got what he wanted, so El0n won't release the tapes. Now this is now. There's still a rift there, but that's really what happened. That just shows how guilty and how scared 45 is. Because he knows the truth. He knows what he did. He doesn't think it's wrong. He'd do it again. He just doesn't want the world to know. And I was wrong. I said, you know, I don't think that even if they released the Epstein files, that MAGA would care. I'm wrong about that. They clearly do care. I'm relieved to see that. The problem is they're still gaslighting themselves because they still can't accept it, and he's going to make it easy for them by having Jelaine lie, and she's going to get what she wants, and El0n just got what he wanted. And but the crack did get in there. It did. And once you get a crack, the next time there's a hit, someone hits the glass, the rock, whatever, the whole thing's going to crumble. So I'm talking about MAGA. So I'll leave. Thanks for listening. You guys have a great night. Take care. And we will get through this. We will. How do I think tomorrow's going to go? Well, I think we're going to hear more. I do think we're going to hear. Here's what I think. I think that someone independently is gathering all the information and has the files, has the information, has the pictures, and there's going to be like this huge dump. And it won't be El0n. It's going to be like anonymous, or somebody is going to dump a whole bunch of, like a big package of just like bam, bam, bam. Here's timelines, here's photos, here's files, here's the list, here's phone calls, here's texts, here's all of it. You know, you got Katie Johnson. If people want to know the truth, just listen to her deposition, her testimony. But, you know, they won't listen because they don't want to hear it. They'd rather victimize the victims over and over and over and over again. But that's what I think is going to happen. So we are going to see the truth. We are. I just heard he can run and he can hide, but he can't hide from the truth. So anyway, thanks for listening. Have a great day or night, and take care. And remember to pray for my migraine, because I've been miserable, just absolutely miserable today. So thank you. Bye.